the Rupi and Dan show. What? It's the Rupi and Dan show.
What? It's the Rupi and Dan show.
What?
What?
Hey! We're back, people. It is the Rupi and
Dan
show episode. Oh my word! I don't even know what episode.
What are we on? 8?
8, something like that. And we know it's been a long time since the last episode. It's just live, people. It can get complicated. It can get heavy duty sometimes, and we need to sort out things with our family. We are family men first, aren't we, Dan?
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely.
And that's not a problem at all. If you guys got anything you're working on and family life comes in, fine.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed all the content that we put out there. There's some Rupi Recommends on there. We've also got our sketch show as well, which we're very, very proud of. And trust me, there'll be more sketches on their way, including our Christmas sketches.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We just filmed one now. I loved it. Loved it.
So cool. So this is our year reflection. This episode, that's what we're going to be talking about. So things that we've done this year, including me making my Hollywood film debut, people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So amazing experience, Dan.
How do we start talking about this?
Well, we need to tell everybody, just in case no one knows.
Whoa. Let's start from the beginning. Let's tease.
Okay, let's tease it.
Right, so
okay.
what happened? How did it all start? Before we tell you what it is, what happened at the beginning?
Okay, so I'm on holiday with the family, and I get an audition request sent through to me via email from my agent. That's how it normally works. They ask you to do a self-tape, right? And what they're asking for is for an American accent, a doctor with kind eyes. That's what they're asking for, right? It's a delivery scene, so close up on the face, wearing a surgical mask, American accent, all you gotta say is, you're doing well, blah, blah, blah. So I had to shoot it in the middle of the night where everybody else was sleeping. Thank you to Jim and to Daphne as well for providing I didn't have any tripod or nothing.
You didn't?
So no, I didn't, no. So I had to use blue tack and stick it to the wall and something like that. Anyway, and also the surgical
behind
mask.
the scenes of an audition,
well, there you go.
And do you know what it is yet?
You don't know yet, do you? All I was told was the code name for it was Blue Hawaii. So I'm like, Blue Hawaii. I'm thinking, right, anyway.
Is it a rock movie? I think
Elvis did a film called Blue Hawaii back in the day. So that was 11 o'clock at night. The following day, about 4 p.m., we're about to make our way home. And I get an email from my agent saying, right, Rupi, well done. You've got the job. I'm like, great. What is it? And I start searching what Blue Hawaii is, because that was the code name they were using. And I'm coming across a certain big name director linked to Blue Hawaii.
So right there, when you saw this big name, what did you think?
I was going nuts, and I was like, is this for real? Is this true? So I took a screenshot of what I found on this kind of behind the scenes, backstage film kind of website, which is a bit random. And it said that this director was linked to it. I emailed that to my agent. I said, look, is this what I think it is? And he made me wait.
What? Do you think he knew?
I don't think he knew for sure, because he was waiting for confirmation. Once he got the confirmation, it was then confirmed that the director was none other
than
Tim Burton. Once that was set in stone, I was going nuts. And then I asked my agent,
why were you going nuts? For the people that don't know about Tim Burton, why?
Batman in 1989, one of the first major Hollywood superhero films, right? Batman 89, which set the stage for all the Marvel stuff that's come afterwards, all the DC films. Tim Burton directed it. He directed also Batman Returns. Beetlejuice, he directed, right, before Batman. He's also directed loads of different films as well. Corpse Bride, Sleepy Hollow, Edward Scissorhands. Oh, how am I forgetting Edward Scissorhands? So, this is a major Hollywood director. And now I'm in a film which he's directing. What film is it? I hear you ask me. Well, none other than a sequel to a film made about 35 something odd years ago, Beetlejuice. Once it was confirmed, I was going nuts, telling my family, and that's all I could tell, because I had to sign an NDA, which means you can't tell anybody. I can't post about it on social media. So for a whole year, I had to keep this secret from my friends and my family. Close ones, I kind of mentioned it too, but obviously they swore them to secrecy. But yeah, Dan, just absolutely amazing. I just couldn't believe it.
Tim Burton, right? He's one of the best in his genre. He's like Steven Spielberg. He's like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
He's up there with Scorsese.
Scorsese,
right?
yeah,
This guy's a big deal. And Batman transformed, like Rupi said, cinema for comic book movies, for action movies. Michael Burton's career. Not Michael Burton.
Tim Burton.
Michael Keaton's career.
Michael Keaton, there we go.
It was such a huge project, and Beetlejuice made so much difference to the world of this alternate type of filmmaking and also characterizations and storylines. And Rupi, that's how significant Tim Burton is, not only to everyone in the world, but to Rupi. Batman plays such a huge part in his life, right? To now know he was working with the director of Batman on a sequel to one of the best projects in the world, Beetlejuice. Oh my gosh, guys, can you imagine how he must have felt?
And then get this, once I read the scene and I figured out who I was working with, because I didn't know who the cast were, then my mind was even more blown. So I'm in a scene right at the end of the film working with none other than Jenna Ortega. And if you don't know who she is, I think everybody does, but if you don't, on Netflix Wednesday, based off the old Addams Family films, Addams Family. So, she's a massive, major Hollywood star. And I'm in a scene with her. And Winona Ryder, people! From Edward Scissorhands.
The wife of Keanu Reeves.
You know what I mean?
Scissorhands, yeah.
Edward Scissorhands, that was, she's done so many other films as well, but she was in the scene. I got to meet her as well.
And she's in. Oh, the Netflix TV show about the kids.
Oh, come on, Stranger Things, people. Stranger Things, come on. She's another massive Hollywood name, and I'm in a scene with two of them. It comes right at the end of the film. So if you've watched Beetlejuice, which a lot of people have, and they're like, "You're in that, Rupi." Yes, I am the doctor that gets killed by this. And I won't give it away too much in case you haven't seen it, but I get killed by this monster, right? It gets on my show. Now, here's the thing. When we were filming it as well, Tim Burton, he wanted to keep things the way the original was filmed. So it was very old school, not so much CGI. So in terms of the blood, it wouldn't have been CGI kind of post, whatever. It was tubes that were connected all the way up my back and shut out my neck, these tubes. So you had people that were working this pump that would shoot the blood out of my shoulder.
Wow.
And then the monster wasn't CGI, it was puppet. It was a puppet. So I had 5 puppeteers working the arms and legs.
Okay.
So this thing, it was just, I had like so many people around me. But when you see the scene in the film, you can't see these people because obviously they've been CGI out. So you can't see them. But just Warner Brothers Studios, Leverson Studios, just amazing experience.
Wow. And this is called practical effects, guys, and you don't see that in movies anymore. These real life things that have been created for the movie. Now these days it's all just computer generated cartoons, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, had my own trailer on set. It's just amazing.
But there is one thing I know that he hasn't mentioned yet, which is he got to spend time with Tim Burton. Mano a mano, one-on-one,
making the man laugh, people. I was like, and I kept the fanboy inside. I didn't kind of let my fanboy kind of go, oh my God, right. I kept professional. I did what I had to do. And then once I'd completed what I had to do, which was doing the audio of me screaming when this monster kills me, he's laughing. And that's when I let it go. Taking on advice from one of the other actors who gave me a great idea, I just said to Tim, I said, look, I'm a massive Batman fan, a massive fan of your work. Would it be okay if I actually just assign a bit of costume, which the costume team were happy for me to keep, which is a surgical mask. Yeah, a surgical mask and the hat as well. So he signed it on the wall. He was happy to do it for me. And it's something I'll treasure and keep forever as well. So
Wow. And guys, Beetlejuice is available now on Amazon Prime, on Sky Store, on all these different platforms. Yep. If you want to watch it, it might even be free on certain.
It's coming out on Blu-ray and also DVD. It'll be out in December, early December. It's coming out, so get your copy now, people, and fast forward all the way to the end, and I'm there, people.
And his name's in the credits.
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes.
And if you go on to Prime and you pause it on his scene, you might even see his face.
You might see my picture.
This man here.
I'm in a Hollywood film. So that's the big highlight for 2024 in terms of me and films. But in terms of films in general, Dan, what have been your highlights this year in terms of films in general?
Beetlejuice. Let's start there. That was a great movie. Really enjoyed that movie. I actually want to watch that again before the year is over. But for 2024, Beetlejuice was fantastic.
We went and saw a big Marvel film that has changed the game, and it's brought two superheroes together for the first time on. Well, not the first time.
Was it? Did we watch it?
We saw it together. We did.
Go back to the previous episode and see who watched it for us.
Yes.
Who do you think it was? Was it us?
But just amazing. Yeah, great film though, wasn't it?
That was a fantastic
film.
film.
Wolverine and Deadpool. Amazing film.
Years in the making with the 𝐊𝐿𝐒.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
The cameos. Blade. Wesley Snipes.
Oh my days.
That was the one I did not see coming.
As soon as I saw Blade come on the screen, and it was slow motion, that's how, it gives you time to process it, and you're thinking, this is my childhood. This is a big part of my life. This is oh my gosh moment. I mean, and you feel it.
I mean, the Fox universe of Marvel films. Obviously, you've got the X-Men. You've got Blade.
Elektra.
Fantastic Four. I mean, even that gets cameoed in there as well. So it was just and then you have the one film that was never made, which they wanted to make it, but they didn't do it. But they brought in the Channing Tatum as Gambit. It was just
really special.
Yeah, I think he loved doing that part as well.
So if you follow Rupi on TikTok, you'll see his audition tapes on TikTok, and you'll know that being an actor is hard work, guys. And I know this as well because I also. I'm dibbling, dabbling.
Whoa! I'm not the only one in a Hollywood film. Don't. Mr. Dan here is in a Hollywood film as well. Dan, do you want to let everybody know?
What?
Yes, you. Come off it, man.
I saw someone that looked like me in the back.
Right.
So Rupi played. He played an actual character on the screen, right, with lines, and that's a big deal. You get credited. I played something called an extra, which is called a supporting artist. And what you never think about until you actually get involved in this line of work is the people in the background, they make the scene too, right? Without movement in the background, without people interacting, you don't feel that the film's real, that it's happening in our world today, or it could happen. So I was something called an extra, and I was just reacting to the arrival of Ali Baba in the movie Aladdin.
The live-action Disney remake of Aladdin with none other than Mr. Will Smith. This is pre the Will Smith, Dan on the screen. It's like
Yeah, you know what? Before the that's when it happened. 2017. Got to meet Will Smith, and I think I've said it before or touched on it somewhere. That he's such a nice guy, really nice, professional person. We're all human at the end of the day, guys. So everyone's got their own personal lives and their personal way of being, but professionally, amazing.
And you were so brave, weren't you? Because sometimes being an extra as well, and I've done little bits and bobs of this as well. It sometimes can be quite that you're not allowed to associate with the big stars and whatever. But Dan, he was like, listen, I'm going to shoot my shot to a certain extent. I'm here, he's there. I'm just going to try and have a conversation. And you walked up to him, didn't you? And you had that conversation with him. And how did he respond to you?
Yeah, so Rupi's exactly right. People don't do that. And the fear is if you do that, you're off the set because you're expendable. Expendable.
That's a film.
That's a good film. Not from this year, though. But you're gone. You're easily replaced by other people out there who are clawing and itching to be on this movie set, right? So it's literally a moment of bravery that you need. So Will was probably like 200 yards away. I saw him just standing by himself, preparing for a scene or thinking, and I thought, I'm here to inspire you and to inspire my children to know that you can make anything happen in this world. If you try for it, if you look into it, if you want to try, give it a go, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, this is a story that I want to inspire others with. I'm going to go for it. And whatever the consequences are, they are what they are. So I walked 200 yards over to Will Smith. I looked up at him because he's quite tall. And he's got massive hands. And I offered my hand in a handshake. And he grabbed it. And it's huge. And I was like, whoa, this guy's bigger than I thought. And I was like, Will, actually, should I tell you now or should I save that for a future episode? I'll tell you now. I said, Will, the way you are, right now on set with everybody. It's making a huge difference to the people's morals, to their enjoyment of this work. And you being one of the leads of this production set, thank you very much. And I didn't know it was a few days before his birthday, but he looked at me and he just nodded. He's like, and I think he said thank you, and then that's it. And then I just took my hand and I just walked away.
But the bravery for Dan to do that, and he is in the film. Don't think he's just kind of. There is a scene in the marketplace, isn't there, where the Prince Ali Abagwa he arrives, and you can have I pronounced it right? May I not pronounce it right? But he's
Abagwa.
there. There you go. Prince Ali right, anyway. But Dan's in there as well, so that's probably one that you need to rewatch. And see if you can find Mr. Dan.
See if you can find me. They did cut out a lot of scenes. That's what they do in movies. But I made it in one.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, please do look into it. Give it a go. Your dreams, whatever they may be. And you might end up in a Tim Burton movie.
Definitely.
Or in a Guy Ritchie movie.
Previous films of this year, though, we are reflecting on this year.
Yes.
So we've mentioned there Wolverine and Deadpool. Obviously, Beetlejuice. Any other films that stick out for you, Dan, at all from this year?
Those are the two main movies, and I think I watched another movie on Netflix. I think it was, and it was the new Kate Beckinsale movie.
Oh right, okay.
And it reminded me of Black Widow. It was like a version of Black Widow. It's called Canary Red or Canary Black.
She was in the kind of vampire Wolverine.
Underworld.
That was the one, yeah, from back in the day.
So she's still got the acting chops. She's still got the action chops.
Right.
She could still lead a movie. But this one, I think the movie itself, the storyline, could have been better. Yeah. But it's worth a watch. But it sticks in mind because I thought this lady, she's going against everything that you hear, which is as you get older, there's certain things you can't do. No, she's one of those people that are proving the industry wrong. That I'm still in my 50s, I can still do it. I'm in my 60s, I can still do it.
I think in terms of films that stick out for me, there's one that I haven't seen, Dan. I think you and I need to go and watch this, right? Gladiator 2.
Oh.
Gladiator 2, people. Ridley Scott back in the director's seat, making a sequel to an all-time classic starring Russell Crowe, who obviously passes away in the first film. So I think there might be a brief mention of him in this sequel. But also sequels, if you think of sequels nowadays, it's very rare that you see a film called Something Number 2. For example, Beetlejuice. It's not Beetlejuice 2. You know, there's always like a hidden title. This is Gladiator 2, very old school, I think, and it carries on the story. But Denzel Washington is in this film, people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and he's one of my all-time favorite actors. If you haven't seen John Q, oh my word, you need to see John Q. One of his best. He's in this. It's just an amazing film. He's acting. I mean, Training Day as well.
Day was great.
You know, so Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2. I need to watch it with you, Dan. We need to be there.
All right.
Possibly IMAX, maybe.
I'm glad you brought this up, actually. So Moana 2's coming out.
Oh!
Or it has come out, depending on when you watch it. And right now, in the moment of us filming this, Dwayne Johnson's filming the live-action Moana, and he's wearing a big bodysuit.
Yes. We had a discussion about this
That
online.
was interesting. It's a good shout, I think. It's smart, because he doesn't have to wake up and be in makeup for 4 hours covering his tattoos.
Yep.
He just has to put on a suit.
Yeah, it's going to be. I reckon there's going to be quite a lot of CGI in that. I reckon.
And the hook's this big.
The
hook
massive.
is huge. I mean, sorry, the hook is huge.
That's huge. Yeah. So Moana 2 and also the live action Moana, that'll be something to look forward to. So we're reflecting on this year, but we're also looking forward for next year. And next year, in terms of superhero films, we've got loads. Captain America. That one's coming out as well with Anthony Mackie now as Captain America in there as what used to be the Falcon.
And behind the scenes, it wouldn't have been a Rupi and Dan show if I didn't say a bit of behind the scenes stuff. This movie was filmed, and then there was a change of CEO at Disney. Right, Bob Chapek left because he was ruining Disney. Bob Iger came back because they were saying, Disney's really going really badly and our stock value has gone so far down and we need him, the legendary Bob Iger, to come back. And he came back and he said, oh my gosh, Bob Chapek, he's put all of this middle management, all of these managers in place, and they're managing creatives. They're managing Kevin Feige, who runs Marvel. They can't do that because they're doing things, they're putting out two. So they had a totally different plan.
Right.
Bob Iger came back and said, no, middle management gone. Kevin Feige back in control. Feige said, I seen that movie. I don't like it. We're going to reshoot some of that movie. They reshot Captain America, and it is now what you see in the trailers, and it's great.
Thunderbolts as well. That's out next year, and that's kind of like Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad from DC, where you got like the baddies to a certain extent coming together to form a team. So that's going to be interesting next year as well to watch. There are other films coming out next year as well. There's one that just skipped my mind.
You know what Kevin Feige said? He said in these movies that are coming up now, there's going to be references, and maybe more, to the X-Men.
Oh, people, we're building up to Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, and then after that, we've got Secret Wars. People, we cannot wait for these films. I mean, I remember the hype and hysteria when the Avengers Endgame came out as well, and before that as well, you had all the stuff with Thanos and getting all the gemstones and the Power Stones. So, I mean, these two Avengers films were massive, and now we're going to have the same two directors, which are the Russo brothers, and Robert Downey Jr. is back in the Marvel Universe, not as Iron Man, he's back as Mr. Doctor Doom, people.
Mr. Doctor Doom.
Mr. Doom. I think it's Mr. Doctor Doom. Spider-Man as well, Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. Is there going to be Venom in that as well? You know, all these things are coming out, which is great.
Yeah.
So there's our reflection, and I look ahead to films. Moving on to a subject matter that's close to our hearts, and one that we've got a lot of opinions to share.
What's that?
WWE. Triple H. What's going on, people? Still no announcement for WrestleMania in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
What are you playing at, people? Just going to throw that out there. Yeah.
Hunter.
Mr. Paul Levesque.
What you doing, man?
Where's our free tickets as well, man?
Yeah.
Anyway, big news, if you do not know, WWE is moving all its programming away from what in the UK is on TNT Sports and also from the WWE Network. They're gone. It's moving as of January 1st to Netflix in a multi-billion-dollar deal, everybody. So from January, everything WWE is now on Netflix. If you're already a subscriber to Netflix, you don't have to pay any extra. It's all there for you. If you're not a subscriber to Netflix, it might be the reason to sign up. Because not only have you got films, now you've got live sporting events happening. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and all the previous. They're putting select what they're calling what used to be known as pay-per-views are now like premium live events. These are going to be onto Netflix as well. So everything moving to Netflix. Your thoughts on that, Dan?
I love it. I love it a lot.
Love it a lot.
Yes. What I love about it is that it's more accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. I don't watch it. I don't watch these shows this year because I can't pay for the streaming channels to watch Raw and SmackDown. I just watch it on YouTube all the time. But now with Netflix, movies, sports, TV shows, it's worth the subscription price. With or without ads.
It's going to be amazing. Everything going to Netflix. I mean, the money they're pumping into WWE. I mean, they're already doing so well the last 2-3 years. Obviously since COVID, but now with Netflix behind them, it's going to blow up people even more. Yeah. WrestleMania next year as well is going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll see the dream match that I've wanted last year, but we didn't get it, which would be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I don't know how they're going to sort that out. But on the path to that main event, we have Survivor Series coming up. And we've got the OG original bloodline versus the new bloodline. So Roman Reigns, he's got the Uso brothers back with him. They've got Sammy Uso back with them. And then as of yesterday's SmackDown, they now have a 5th member of their team for War Games.
Is that confirmed?
I saw his picture on the poster.
Oh.
So it's none other than CM Punk. What is it, Dan?
It's clobbering time!
He is now part of the Roman Reigns OG Bloodline team, facing Solo Sikoa. You've got the two Tonga brothers, I think they're actually stepbrothers, aren't they, or something?
Are they?
Yeah, something like that. Obviously, you've then got the Samoan Wolverine as well. The name escapes me.
Jacob
Fatu, he's blown up. I mean, he's come in there like a house on fire.
Wolf?
The Wolf or the Wolverine of the blood, something like that. And their 5th member, which joined last week, is this guy. He got sacked from the company.
No way.
He got sacked when Vince came back for a brief moment. Triple H brought him back because I think he sees a lot of potential in this man. And he's having a rivalry at the moment with Seth Rollins, and he's doing very, very well. It's none other than, oh my word, this Australian.
Bronson Reed.
The man is humongous. Bronson Reed. He's in there. And so those two teams facing off at Survivor Series. Your prediction for the winner on that one, Dan?
I think I think it's going to be an end in a no contest.
Really?
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
because
What
I
makes you say
think-
that?
I think they want to build it to a Royal Rumble storyline.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I think something needs to happen for it to be a no contest. But then again, might not be.
I don't know. I think the rules. I think it's just literally once like all 5 members have joined into the 2 cages that are there around the 2 rings. I think it's no rules. I think it's almost like anything
no
goes.
rules.
But the interesting factor for me is CM Punk adding on to Roman Reigns' team, because for everything I thought they were going to have.
It's a good addition.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
I thought
He's
they were
just
gonna
beat
have-
Drew McIntyre in a no holds barred kind of situation.
Yeah, true. But I just thought they were going to have Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
The connection with Roman Reigns, obviously from the Shield. I just thought those two would come into it. But he said, look, adamantly on Raw, I'm not going to be in a team with Roman Reigns. I'm not going to build his ego, and I don't ever want to be with him and see him as Universal Champion or whatever. So I reckon Seth Rollins has got a part to play, because I know he doesn't like CM Punk, and that is another storyline that I think is building towards WrestleMania. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins as well.
And if you're watching this after Survivor Series, put in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah, first of all, like and subscribe. If you haven't seen any of our content, there's lots on there on the Dan Network. So like and subscribe, and then give us your comments. We want to know what you think of our predictions. What are your predictions as well?
Yeah.
And
what I would say is, well done to the WWE for a great 2024. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, look, WrestleMania 40 was just amazing.
Yeah.
So I know we give a lot of stick to Triple H and stuff, but you did well. You did well, mate.
Do you think on Netflix there'll ever be a WBW?
WBW. You never know, people. It's on the rise.
Oh, is it?
It's on the rise. I mean, listen, they've done an amazing WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, guys. If you haven't seen that episode, what did you think of WrestleMania? We really enjoyed it.
And there's a special video on the Dan Network as well of me and Dan participating in a WBW match. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah.
It's amazing what you could do with stuff these days. So cool.
Oh God, it's gaming nowadays is so much more than what it used to be back in the day with the Mega Drive and all sorts.
So if you've got WWE 2K24,
2K24, yeah,
then you can play as Macho Dan and
Mega Super Rupi.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, we're there, people.
I mean, they're there.
Right, we're coming near the end of this episode, but we have to do this. This is my and Dan's first year at doing this, the Rupi and Dan show. It's probably been slightly over a year, actually. We started last year, September, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah.
So I think it's time for us, we haven't done this, to reflect on what we've accomplished.
No, you're going to make me cry.
But it is emotional, people.
It's all good.
This all started from an idea that Dan had of creating a podcast, a YouTube show.
And you, actually.
I always wanted to do it, but I never had the gumption, the idea of how to create it. Dan already started making waves. So with having the Dan Network set up on YouTube and already having your kind of episodes that were on there, talking about yourself, and then suddenly this has come to be what it was. First of all, we started off like a typical podcast. We were having the mics. We were in a studio in Birmingham.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
The pilot,
had the 1, 2, 3, 4 screen.
We did, yeah. We had the 4 screen split, and that was our pilot episode. All these episodes are still there. Like and share, subscribe, people. It's all there for you.
A bit of interesting information about that, right? I picked up Rupi from his house, and I said, "Rupi, let's go. We're going to go to the studios and film." And I said, "Rupi, I don't know about this. How we introduce our show when we put it together." I was like, "We need a song. We need something catchy." What do you think about this idea?
I was like, okay, Dan, I'm gonna go with it. I don't know if it'll work, but to be fair, it's catchy. It's a little bit. I always think it was like like 𝐇𝐎𝐿 and 𝐄𝐍. It's that dynamic, isn't it? So
the look on your face though when I said the Rupi and Dan show, what? The Rupi and Dan show, what? Rupi looked at me and thought, what have I got myself involved in? I remember that. That's how it all started, guys.
But you see, what's the word? You don't take any risks in life. You might not achieve the things that you really want to achieve.
Yeah.
And for us, I trusted Dan, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go with it, and let's see. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. So, you know, this guy, he's amazing. You know, he'll keep on talking about me being in a Hollywood film and things like that, and the things that I do with my work in schools, educational theatre, and whatever. But this person here, the things that he does and the things that he's learned and the things that he puts himself into, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I have to say, I'm in awe sometimes of things that you do, mate. So,
thanks, man.
So no, I think we need to give a lot of praise as well to Mr. Dan here as well.
Likewise, to be a father of two with a really kind and loving wife, and to be a full-time actor and working in schools as well with children, it's amazing. It's not something that a lot of people do these days. I don't know of anyone else that does it, and he's living the dream because he's doing two things at the same time, which not a lot of people do, which is having a family life and also having this actor's life. And usually when you look at stories and interviews online, people don't really do the two unless they're really wealthy and established.
Or I mean,
well done to you, honestly.
I appreciate it. I think for me, a lot of credit goes to my wife, to my beautiful wife, who has been very supportive. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing at the moment. And I wouldn't be in a Hollywood film right now, I'll be honest with you. So big shout out to her. So yes, hopefully you've enjoyed watching. If you stayed with us from the very beginning, a big massive thank you on behalf of myself and for Dan. Hopefully you enjoyed all the content we're putting out there. We're putting more out there for 2025. We've got the sketch show now in place, so you can find all our sketches in one kind of compilation. All our Rupi and Dan podcasts, like traditional podcasts, us talking about different subject matters like wrestling. That's all there for you as well. Please stick with us. Please let other people know about the podcast as well. It's just two Punjabi boys from West Bromwich doing something where we're having lots of fun, talking about things that we enjoy. Hopefully you enjoy them too. So please like, subscribe, share it, people. Let everybody know. And you never know, you can get involved in the show as well. We would like to. We haven't had any guest appearances on the show. Maybe you could be our first.
Yeah, get in touch. We'll make it happen.
Lots
of different ways.
Share, subscribe. So thank you so much. Thank you. Let me get my words out right. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Rupi. You can do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's I'll teach you. So thank you so much for watching this episode of the Rupi and
Dan
show. Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful Christmas, a wonderful New Year, and we'll see you in 2025. 25 people.
25 already?
Yeah, we're getting old,
oh,
man.
My days.
We're getting old, people. Take care, everybody. We're going to jump out. 1, 2, 3. Whoa!